The idea right now, Loida, just to briefly, just to summarize, there's Senator Legato already. Just to summarize, whether you have a proposal to President Noynoy Aquino.
And we were supposed to do a book. Anyway, ang ganda mo naman. Saan ka pa nang galing? Yeah. Oh, hi.
You got Senator here, right?
Oh no, I'm not fit. Okay, I'll wait for you.
That's why we have to follow it up with as much interview as we can, because we already have the momentum.
Yes, everybody's watching because we update that. We update the previous one.
This morning they were all together at
79.
one time, about 79 or 80 online.
Oh, nice.
So we're getting traction.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
This is Robert Posadas welcoming you to another edition of the Unifiers. Here, we trust, we verify, and unify message and medium via the efficiencies of the World Wiser Web. And that's our general intent. But right now, our specific intent is to get a summary on whether Loida Nicolas Lewis has a proposal on good governance, social and economic progress as a result of the recent Global P-NOYs conference here in the Philippines. So Loida, can you summarize whether, if any, you have a proposal on good governance, society and economic progress for the Philippines?
Well, so the US P-NOYs for Noynoy Mar, US P-NOYs for good governance, we transformed it now for good governance. We met here in Manila, July 1 and 2, and we had also the blessings that President Noynoy met with us, just for 15 minutes, photo opportunity. Well, out of that convention, there were two things that we sort of want to present to President Noynoy. The first one is to take advantage of the goodwill he has with Filipinos overseas. In fact, Dr. Gil Ramos calls us 11 million Filipino overseas, the Filipino overseas nation. Because with 10 million, we are like any other country, of 10 million people. So what we want to maximize is President Noynoy's goodwill and ask the Filipino overseas to lend money to President Noynoy to pay down foreign debt. Okay, the interest will be 7.5%. So if you buy, it's buying in dollars, but payable in pesos.
Okay.
So that if we buy $100 in dollars, it will use to be paid down $100 in debt. But 10 years later, we will receive $100. Let's say it's equivalent to 50. That's 5,000 pesos. At the end of 10 years, we get 10,000 pesos back. So, lending President Noynoy, meaning the Philippine government, $100, but paying us back 10,000 pesos. 5 plus 5 is, $500. $100 is equivalent to 5,000 pesos, paying us back 10,000 pesos at the end of 10 years. Parang ganon.
Okay.
So, yun ang tinatawag. Gusto kong tawagin natin yung P-NOY bonds. P-NOY bonds.
Right.
Which is the president name that he wants to be called P''Noy.
I think that's great for the Philippines because in the sense that the dollar stays in the Philippines,
Yes.
not being a burden as a government dollar debt. Yes.
Exactly.
Good.
That's the idea.
So,
If we pay our own, the debt of the Philippine government through our dollars, then that's a big saving for the Philippines because I think we're paying 9, 10, 11%, 12%.
so that in itself is a stimulus towards social aspects of the proposal.
Well, in the sense that we will not be using dollars to pay the debt because it's going to be payable in pesos, then we have less interest payments to pay. We have more money to build infrastructure, to build schoolhouses, to build roads, to build homes. Imbis na ang babayaran mo, bibili ka ng dollar, palabayaran yung ating dollar debt. dahil sa ang bayad nito peso, hindi na tayo dapat kumuha pa, bumili pa ng dollars.
Yeah. So in that sense, it becomes a social investment instead of a business or economic investment.
Yes.
Because the government doesn't expect any return on it. So even if they expect a return on it, they still have to convert it to dollars. Then it itself is an disadvantage.
Yes, exactly.
So it becomes a social progress.
Yes. Ang ibig kong
factor.
sabihin, tayong mga Pilipino abroad, okay, tutulungan natin si President Noy, bayaran yung utang. So ang may utang sa atin, ang gobyerno.
Okay.
Ang bayad ng gobyerno, pesos, hindi na dollars. Oo.
So lastly, is this anything? I can see some difference from the proposal of the 3-point proposal of Eddie Ramos. And Eddie Ramos, I gather, is the chairman emeritus of NAPA in the East.
No, Eddie Ramos was a former chairman of Florida lang. I mean, you know,
Florida.
it's one region.
Okay.
Okay.
I see.
The emeritus were those that may become president of the nation, national NAFA. So Alex Esclamado is one. I am the second one. Alma Kearns of Seattle is the third one. So far, we have had only 3 presidents. The fourth one is Greg Macabenta. He is the current president, or tawag natin national chair.
Okay, who came up with the original idea of investing in the Philippines in dollars and then paying back in pesos?
Okay, this is the idea of Professor Gil Ramos. He worked with Marcos even, but you know it was too difficult to live in the Philippines during that time. So he is a PhD. He is a professor in New Jersey, and he has been thinking of how do we help President Noynoy. So now, with 19 billion remittances of Filipino overseas to the Philippines, it helped us a lot. So sabi niya, bakit hindi natin humingi ng tulong? Okay? Siguro sa tulong ng mga Filipino overseas, kahit mabawasan natin ng $1 billion ang ating utang. Okay? Ang dami ng savings noon para sa Pilipinas.
Okay, we have to admit that's a brilliant, well thought out idea of the dollars versus peso payment. And so, Loida, summarize it a little bit, and we end up the interview.
Okay, so the other one, that's the first one, okay? Going to the US P-NOYs. The other one is our proposal for how to have transparency in the Philippine government in terms of its money. Okay, so merong ipopropose kami kay Cesar Purisima na a sort of software, okay, that will facilitate and be transparent kung anong pera ang pumapasok, nagbabayad ng taxes, kung sino ang binibigyan yan sa mga different agencies, kung paano nagagastos yan, lalo na sa mga pork barrel ng mga senators at congressman, paano nila nagagastos. Lahat yan pwedeng nasa internet. Okay, so that will have very much good governance.
Right.
Wala nang, hindi pwede kang magtago, hindi mo pwedeng kasi nakasulat sa internet kung sinong kumuha, kung sinong binagyan ng pera, kung para sa ano, gano'n.
Good.
Okay.
So there you go, an interview with Loida Nicolas Lewis on their proposal to recommend to President Aquino on good governance and social and economic progress in the Philippines. Again, Robert Posadas here, thanking you, advocates of lovers of freedom, peace, and prosperity. And so do join us again in another edition of the Unifiers.
Salamat. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Be sure I'm part of it.
That's yours with the fee. Thank you.
Yeah.